After 5 years of professional design, how would I learn it again if I had to? I'm George, and this video simplifies a typical design process, highlighting some concepts that might be intimidating or ambiguous, especially to newbies. This video is part of a long-term project for a bootcamp, so you can like and subscribe to stay connected. So this product is an online learning community, and we'll be building the website and dashboard using a playful illustration style. Our focus is addressing our problem statement, which included low class attendance and task submission by the students and difficulties assessing performance by the tutors. So basically, we just need a better solution for communication. We conducted surveys and interviewed the required range of individuals to understand the challenges and frustrations that they faced alongside their preferred solutions. The insights gathered from these surveys will enable us to create a design that truly resonates with them and their specific needs. We are using Miro for our UX research. Miro.com allows you to collaborate with your team virtually, and there are several tools available, but I like the sticky notes best for articulating our points. We learned that our tutors were struggling with providing quality services because they did not have enough data to assess the students. They also felt like a sense of community would be helpful, as well as efforts to maybe diversify the class delivery methods. And the students had challenges navigating the course materials, keeping up with the live class schedules, reaching out to the tutors with difficulties, amongst others. And by prioritizing and understanding these pain points, we plan to brainstorm and create a more intuitive solution. At this point, it is clear that this requires a lot of collaboration between the team, the designer, and the users. Now, collaboration might sound intimidating, especially to a newbie or a self-taught designer that lives alone or doesn't have a full-time job yet, but it does not have to be, because working with friends, colleagues, or family qualifies as a team in a lot of cases, and asking them questions also qualifies as research, as long as they fall into your target demographic. We can decide to start by brainstorming solutions for each key actor, and we know that the key actors for the solution are the tutor and the student. Some of the solutions might include creating a personalized dashboard with details about class, the tests, the attendance, the projects, the groups, and so on. We could also decide to add other features such as reminders. We could decide to sync with Google Calendar, add the forum. We might also want students to be able to reach out to their tutors personally if they have difficulties, or reach out to classmates. Now, this means that we will have to add a messaging feature, right? So we basically are going to come up with different solutions, like random solutions to each of these problems, and then we are going to use empathy mapping to gain a deep understanding of the challenges and frustrations that they face and decide on which one to prioritize. Next, we use a prioritization framework to determine which solutions are most important to our users and would have the greatest impact. Why can't we just do everything that our users want? Why can't we just implement every single solution? Well, there are several reasons for this. We might not have the resources to implement every feature, and by resources, this means time, manpower, amongst others. And it's also possible that some features might not return an equivalent amount of value compared to the effort required to implement them. So one of the best methods to categorize these solutions is a prioritization grid. There are other methods for doing this, of course, but this video just focuses on the prioritization grid. So the point of the grid is to create 4 quadrants that measure effort against value. So we have high effort, high value. We have high effort, low value quadrant. We have the low effort, high value, and we have the low effort, low value. And placing our solutions into this quadrant gives us a better view of our options and the results that they may yield. The wireframes demonstrate what a typical user's journey through the product would be like, and this includes what happens when they land on the website, on the landing page, to signing up, setting up their profile, setting up their dashboard, viewing classes, and every other functionality we plan on implementing. Our wireframes will be tested within a closed group and by members of the team because it is easier to spot errors and iterate at this stage compared to High-fidelity. We are going to draw, test, and redraw this wireframe as many times as we have to in order to arrive at an optimal solution. And your wireframe does not have to be digital. There is no one way of doing it. Wireframes can be drawn on paper using pencils, and they can be done on whiteboards using markers. There is no single way to do it, but the point is to be able to get your ideas down fast and test them and repeat and brainstorm until you get the optimal solution. So for us, some of the proposed solutions included a personalized dashboard that tells each user about class schedules, homework, new class material, test results, and forums for classmates and tutors, amongst others. And since we have already established the fact that we have two key players in this, that is the teachers and the tutors and the students, the experience is slightly different for them all within the system. So the tutor wouldn't experience the website the same way that the student experiences it. So it makes sense to have two separate wireframes for each person, each particular player. And through this wireframe, we'll be able to achieve a more organized layout, clearly labeled sections, and easily accessible information. And we can also decide to add tooltips and help sections and chatbots to make it easier for the users to understand and utilize the features on the platform. Although working with the Figma component system can come across as intimidating also and complicated, it's a fairly easy process that you just have to follow. If you already know how to do this, you can skip 6 minutes ahead. The first thing that you need to do is to create the component of your default button style. And you can do this by writing the default button text and then adding the icons that you need if necessary. I'm currently using the Iconify plugin, and there are several other plugins and resources that can generate icons for you as well. And when you get the icons in next to your text, you can resize them to the preferred size that you would want. I basically make them almost the same size as the text itself. And you frame the text and the icons using auto layout, and then you add a fill with a radius. I'm currently using a radius of 8 pixels. And the next step involves selecting the button elements and making sure everything is all goody, from the colors to the entire composition, just the way you want. And then you frame the text, and then you select the button element, you right click and select create components. You can also do this with the icons at the top, and then you duplicate the component by right clicking and selecting duplicate component. You can now make changes to the duplicates to create the variants of that you would prefer for the buttons. This could include changes to the text, color, shapes, and more. And now you can see that we have created 3 variants of this button. And you proceed to select all the components and click the component icon at the top, create multiple components, and then go to your right hand side and combine all of them as variants. To create even more variants, simply duplicate the modified component and make additional changes. This process can be repeated as many times as you need in order to create all the variants you need. So let's explain what we are doing here. We are creating 9 duplicates of the same button, and we have combined them into 3 variants, which are style, icon, and state. Under style, we have primary, secondary, and the outline button. Under icons, we have the icons before, we have the icons after, and then we have no icons. And then we proceed to duplicate all these buttons and reduce the opacity of the duplicates to 50%. And then we create a new variant with two states. The buttons with the 100% opacity will fall into the active state, while those with the 50% opacity will fall into the inactive state. I simply name these states yes and no. And remember, on the side, we still have our base component. Our base component is the component from which we duplicated all these other ones we are working with. This is the parent component of every other one on the Figma file. It is important to note that any changes made to the original component will be reflected in all instances of that component, which means if you go to the base component and edit the color or the shape or the text, the same adjustments apply to every instance of that button all across your Figma file, all across your website. While changes made to a variant inside the box will only affect that variant, changes made to the base component will affect the entire system. Using components in Figma allows you to quickly and easily create different variants of your buttons while maintaining consistency and reducing the amount of work needed to make changes. And now we proceed to the high-fidelity screens, and we are currently focused on the class screen. This is where the user can view their classes and watch the videos and all that stuff. So let us create a page for viewing classes, which will feature the video screen and the layout under the video screen for chapters, a sidebar for viewing other information like homework and upcoming events, as well as a navigation bar on the left. So under the video screen, there would be thumbnails that specify the available chapters in that class. The thumbnail for the active chapter will be slightly bigger than the rest, right? And this is because we want the user to be able to flip between different chapters and view their progress at a glance. So we just arrange the thumbnails there following the guidelines already established by our grid. We bring in our dummy text and basically simulate what the class text would be like landing in that spot. So you want the users to be able to watch the videos, preview the chapters that they're currently on, view other items on the sidebar, and also be able to read the class as a transcript. We also want the users to be able to download transcripts, and we want them to be able to read the text as they watch the videos because we are designing for accessibility. Now, I am giving this template for free. So if you'd like to practice with the style or help improve it or use it as inspiration to create something else, you can visit my Figma page and duplicate the template. There are templates for the landing page, sign up page, sign in, and the dashboard. I would love to see what you come up with. So the most important, or one of the most important aspects of this dashboard is the ability to download classes to your phone as a zip file. We want the students to be able to download the videos. We want them to be able to download the audios. We want them to be able to download the transcripts as well. Because not only are we designing for accessibility, we are designing with people that have low access to internet and electricity at heart. So we want to make it possible that they can access this class one time and then go away with all that information and study it at their own spare time, even if they do not have access to electricity or internet at that moment. Being a designer can be intimidating, especially if you are self-taught. You have to do your own research, be your own motivation, create your own structure, learn to assess your performance, introduce yourself to industry standard trends and practices, and it usually involves a lot of trial and error. Of course, everybody has their own journey, but if I could do it again, better and faster, how would I go about it? The purpose of this project is to build a design community where we share the information that nobody knows, but everybody acts like they do.